Well, how do you get here so quick? I didn't even post a link yet. You get here really quick. Windows notifies you? That's nuts. I think you need to look for some more interesting streams to do that on. really have an interesting stream. Well, the game is a lot better now. It's a much better game now. Mostly because they got rid of the maze, but they did make some changes across the board. Make the game a lot better. I keep forgetting to put the experience on them. I'm trying to level up some characters and do some runs. Trying to do some runs right now. Unlock stuff, and then also for videos, make some content and get my coveted 100 views because no one seems to care about this game. Viewership for this game is already in the toilet, but I'm having fun playing it, which is all that really matters at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm not really in a rush. This is not the kind of game you rush content for. Not worth it. Alright, that should be a pretty good team. Let's try Nightmare. See if I can get through one level on Nightmare. They'll get fat experience. Yeah, I'm not playing with people. should have put healing on. Forgot to put healing. Oh, it's alright, I've got it. The title is accurate, by the way, because this is the third Unreal Engine remaster to come out this year. It's the only one that didn't get inflated in size. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is like, it's like 80 gigs. The original game was like 4 gigs. It had to fit on a DVD. It ballooned by like 20 times. And then the Oblivion remaster today is like 120 gigs apparently. This is the only one where they kept the size within control. I don't know, man. I know that they're remaking it in a new engine, but 15, 20-year-old games should not be like 20 times the size. Does anyone else really feel like now that storage space is so cheap, they don't even try to make them don't even try to make games small anymore? It's like, oh, well, you can just go get a new solid-state drive. Like, yes, that's true, but a game from 2008 shouldn't be 80 gigs. Kazan is like 50 gigs, and that game is well made. Kazan is also not a remaster. Kazan is a unique game. Some developers actually care about our storage space. That it's starting to become a thing of the past. I got a 4 terabyte in this, and it's already almost full. What's up, man? Hello. You guys liking me posting my streams now? I'm not really doing it for more viewers. I don't really think my streams are worth high viewership, but I don't want people to have to rely on YouTube. YouTube hides streams a lot. Not necessarily for myself, but when I'm watching other people, I don't even know they're live. So it's a way to get around that. I don't want to ping people. I mean, like, yeah, I need financial support right now, but I don't want my channel to be, my Discord to be like one of those servers where you get pinged for like every little thing. I might look into getting a bot in there, and people can choose to get pinged. I'm thinking about doing that. I might look into that tomorrow. It's like, you know, the regulars like you guys that are here for like every stream you can be. You guys can get pinged for it, but people in my channel that they don't watch the streams regularly, they don't have time or they don't want to. I don't want them to get bombarded with pings because I tend to sometimes stream like twice, even 3 times a day, depending on what's going on. Especially in the coming month, with Lost Soul Aside coming out and Towerborn. A good chunk of those games can be played on Steam Deck, so there's going to be like more streams. I don't want people to feel bombarded or like pressured to watch. Streams aren't really an income stream for me, so I'll look into that. I'm looking into getting roles set up, so you know, if people want to get notified for the stream, they can, and they don't have to rely on looking in there. But I don't want to do pings. I'm kind of very against that. Because I'm in some servers that ping for, like, every little thing. It gets legit annoying. Like, I get it, you gotta get the word out. I understand why people do it, but... I personally get annoyed by it, so I'm kind of trying to avoid being a hypocrite. Sometimes I go into a new server, I'm like, well, you guys ping if you, like, I don't know, had 8 glasses of water today or something. Like, that's really cool, but I don't need the notification. I want the notifications to be for, like, major stuff, like, hey, you know, this new version of this mod is out, or we're doing some kind of contests, or, you know, something like that. I don't want it to be for, like, I had a decent lunch today. I'm like, well, that's not really a reason to ping people. That doesn't really have a lot of relevance, I don't think. But yeah, I do need to find a better balance. YouTube, just by default, is way worse to stream on for certain things. It's really difficult to stream, get people to know that you're even on. Dude, the game crashed! What the hell, man? Come on! Fuck! Can't even get a pixel art indie game to not crash anymore. Screwed up my whole screen! Why do games always do that? They wait until you're at the end of the level to crash. So annoying, man. Why the hell did it crash? I played this for 10 hours. It's been fine. Needed to hold out for like 45 more seconds. Couldn't do that. So stupid, man. It's like no games work anymore. It's a game that came out like 13 years ago. Why the hell is it crashing? fix it. If I have to do everything again, I don't even think it freaking saved. So dumb. Hate how unstable games are. Nothing is well made anymore. Everything is like this. I lost all those items I got too. It's fucking crashed. So stupid. Every game should have, like, interim saves. It's gonna be this broken. Stupidest thing. Game can't hold it together for like 6 minutes of gameplay. Come the fuck on. God, that's so obnoxious. It's about to get all that experience too. Just wasted my time, got absolutely nothing for that. They need to fix shit like that. So dumb. Fucking crash this time. Stay normal. It's like you can't buy anything at launch anymore. Every game is like this. It's broken for no reason. Like, how hard is it to make something that works at launch? It doesn't break. At least this game does have, it does save if you get disconnected. Yeah, this remaster is missing some pretty obvious quality of life stuff. The fact that you can't level up online is really dumb. It encourages people to leave. And I legit can't blame them. The online in this game needs a lot of work. I don't know how they worked on this for so long and didn't think about that. Like, if you play this game with level 0 characters like these, I could play through the whole game solo with the character I'm playing as. The characters won't actually level up because you don't get access to the menu. Now, when you're playing with real-life people or these bots, it's not too bad, because you can just back out of the menu and just go to the next level that you were going to do before. But online, it's very flawed. You have to go all the way back out to the menu. This game is already a Discord fighter, so I don't know how much it really matters, but the online is definitely leaves a lot to be desired. It's such an easy thing to fix too. Like, they should just add something that makes it so you vote where they want to use a level up screen or not. Like, if there's a majority vote, then everybody gets to go and level up their characters, change the items and stuff, and then just give like a minute timer. That solves the problem. But playing this online right now is kind of a mess, actually. Actually pretty bad. You also can't join games in progress, so there's already a really low player base, but you can't join a game that's already in progress. They're completely locked out. So when there's like not that many games going on to begin with, you can't join one in progress. They've gotten a lot of complaints about that, so hopefully they'll correct a little bit. I definitely think this is the best version of the game by far. It does feel like it deserves having Ultimate in the title. I've played a lot of games that have Ultimate editions and they don't feel Ultimate. This does. Pretty significant upgrade, but still a lot to be desired. You don't want to make it hard to play online when there's so few people on. I could barely find matches like the first couple hours the game came out. How bad is it going to be in a month? It's already going to be really bad in a month. Even if people are online, you can't see the room, so... and you can't join. That's killer for a small game like this that doesn't have, like, Marvel Rivals numbers. There's probably more people on it than what you can see, but because you can only join a room when it actually haven't, no one has gone into an instance yet. It looks dead, and that's kind of a problem too, because people obsess over player counts. And I mean, for a game like this, I think part of the problem is the rooms can be up to 6 players. So when you think about getting a full match going, it takes 3 times as many players as a fighting game, which only takes 2. Like, the new Fatal Fury only has like a couple thousand players at launch on PC, which is pretty concerning. But they do have crossplay, and it is a fighting game, so fighting games can function with a couple hundred players. As much as people like to say they can't, they can. I know this because that was a competitive Battle for the Grid player. I was never getting Overwatch numbers. When I would do those streams of ranked queue, I mean, most of the time I was actually playing, because they had crossplay. Probably is like staring at a queue screen now, because it's been a couple years, but I definitely got my, I got a couple months of content out of ranked queue. But yeah, I'll look into a bot for the stream, for the server. I'm gonna probably do some server boost as well. Make it easier for people to find the streams. Not really to get more viewers, but to circumvent how much shittier it is to find streams and be notified when somebody's on than Twitch. I don't want to get around that. I don't really care about the viewership. There's a lot more people in here when there's like a new game that people are interested in. When I'm playing something like this, or doing mundane stuff like PGR, I don't really expect people to watch. But I didn't want to make it easier for people to find it, if they are interested. So I'll put some work into that tomorrow. I gotta figure out how to do it. Like, I don't wanna spam pings. I think I'm just gonna do it so people have roles. Okay, if you're just in here to chat or lurk, you know, that's cool. And you don't want notifications when I stream like 3 times a day. You know, I understand that. Because I definitely am in some servers that do that. They ping for like every little thing, and I'm like, this is kind of legit annoying. I don't want to be that kind of server. Not like I have the largest server in the first place, but I stream too often to just ping everybody. Well, I'll have to come up with some kind of solution. Just like, hey, if you want to be pinged for the stream, then, you know, I'll give you the role or something like that. That's probably the way to go. Well, I would assume it would, because Ninja Turtles netcode was like the best beat-em-up netcode. Even people who are avid haters of that game can't deny how good the netcode is. The netcode in that game was great. Play like 6-player crossplay and it would barely lag. So, I would assume they would use that same netcode. not enough people talk about how much better the netcode is in Turtles than Streets 4. Streets 4 netcode was pretty bad. It's like serviceable, but also made worse by the fact that they made the mechanics so much deeper than the previous ones. So having it hiccup when you're trying to do a combo or something never felt good. I would not be concerned about that. I think that's pretty much a given. I like how we have to wait for gameplay trailers. We have to wait for them. I wish they would just, well, they did do that Easy Allies one. The problem with that gameplay is I think they clearly got somebody that it's not really super into beat-em-ups. I'm putting this as nicely as possible. And they're not beat-em-up sweats. Which admittedly are hard to find when you're, a big publication like that. It's like the famous God Hand review where the guy clearly hated melee combat games. Would have been in that time period. He would have been better off reviewing Final Fantasy XII or something. And hey, that's fine. But back then we didn't have content creators, so there weren't specialists like me to rely on. It was kind of whoever you could get to do it that was available is who would do it. But yeah, the Easy Allies gameplay of that doesn't really show a whole lot. You kind of have to decide if you're just gonna have to wait for more information. Well, the Team Cherry deserve the flack for taking so long to show anything for that game, because they're doing what AAA developers do, and they announce stuff with a logo or 5 seconds of gameplay, and then there's nothing for years, and they expect you to go pre-order it right away. It's like, well, you haven't shown anything. It's like you haven't shown anything. I need to see a little bit more before I buy your $200 collector's edition. They always put up that frame 1 as well. You haven't shown enough for me to care. There needs to be a little bit more information. I think I speak for most people when I say stuff like that. Alright, well, this should be a little bit smoother this time. I really don't understand how they didn't, they really should have pushed to have Silksong ready for launch of the Switch 2. I really think that they're losing out on a lot of money not having it ready. Especially because the situation is so much worse than when the first Hollow Knight came out. One of the reasons Hollow Knight was successful is that it was a above-average game. Personally, from what I've seen of it, I wouldn't like playing it, but it's a good game. I'm not going to say it's a bad game. It's like, I hate on FromSoft games. I understand they're well-made, well-polished games. They're just not for me. The same thing with Hollow Knight. It was like one of the only things that wasn't first-party that you could buy at launch. But see, the difference now is the landscape has changed. They're going to have all that stuff is backwards compatible, but then, all the Nintendo games are like $80. If they had come out with Silksong at launch, like frame 1, with like the game being no more than $40, I think they would have made so much more money, because it would have been a cheaper alternative, and it's also a highly anticipated game. Hollow Knight got popular mostly because of the Switch, from what I understand, just because there wasn't really much else to play. With the Switch 2, there's like thousands of games that you could potentially be playing, but all the AAA games were like $70, so... Oh. If you guys want to arrange for me to get more gigs like that, then that'll start to change. But, like I posted in my Discord, I do not get very many opportunities. I get very few. So... part of that is by choice, because I only take stuff I'm interested in. I don't want to play random shit mobile games for like $20. I have enough integrity to say, like, right now I've got my link up, right? People can help if they want or they don't. I'm not gonna hate people if they don't donate, but I would rather do that than play some shit mobile game with some insanely high threshold to make more than like $20. That's what Raid Shadow Legends is. That's why I banned those assholes. I blocked them from sending me emails. It's not worth it. Honestly, at that point, like, if you need help affording something, people are generally more than happy to help if they have the means to. But, yeah, I don't get many opportunities that aren't scams like that. They're borderline scams. I mean, they do pay, but it's not a flat rate. They say up to like $200, but honestly, in my experience, from seeing other people do it, you never meet those thresholds. Because people know by this point it's a meme game, it's barely a video game, and people don't want to install that shady stuff on their computer. They're far more likely to just give you $20. Like, I've seen it happen all the time. During a sponsored stream, people will just donate. Like, yeah, I don't feel like installing that crap, but here's some money to keep you going. Happens all the time. Way more than you think. A very common occurrence. You shouldn't be so scared to ask for help, especially if you work hard on it, work hard on your content, at the very least stream every day. You need help, ask for it. You can't expect to get it, but I think it's better than playing that crap, personally. I've only had 2 sponsorships. They're actual legit ones. For something I was gonna play anyway. Like, everybody that they get to show Rushing Beat has, like, never played a video game before. And, like, hey, that's fine. There's a first time for everything, but I'm gonna be honest, those shouldn't be the people that are trying to sell me a hardcore beat-em-up. That's my take on it. Like, hey, there's a first time for everything. Like, I wouldn't want to market an FPS to people because I'm terrible at those. If I got some opportunity like that, I'm like, honestly, thank you for considering me, but I'm not the right person. Have you guys seen me aim in, like, Neo 2 and stuff? It takes me, like, 10 seconds to get a headshot. I'm like... I am not the right fit for that. If I ever got that opportunity, I would say no. Like, you need to find somebody that's passionate about first-person shooters, because I'm not. And I'm not good at them. I can't show the game properly. Plenty of, low viewership Fortnite and Call of Duty streamers that would love to get an opportunity like that. I'd be like, Please recycle this opportunity to somebody that actually can play those games worth a damn. Because I know that I would not do any FPS justice. Whether it's like Halo slow or like, you know, Quake fast. I just couldn't do it. I'm not good at those games, I don't like them. But, unfortunately, that's not what happens most of the time. They get people who, like, really are not the fit to show this hardcore game. No, they need to get somebody to, you know, interact with the community. I would play that game for free. Now, obviously, I'm broke, so I'll take a sponsorship. But for the community, I would gladly play that game for free. No questions asked, I would do it. But, you know, I'm not given the opportunity. So, not a whole lot I can do other than be angry. Yeah, that last gameplay they showed was horrible. Like, why can't you have the developer play? Does the developer even know how to play? I guarantee you, if I ever got some opportunity to, you know, show the new Call of Duty or something, people would be saying the same thing about me. I'm like, I would totally agree with them. I'm like, yeah, I'm not the right fit for this. I'm not good at first-person shooters. I played them with, like, my mom and my best friend when I was in middle school, but I never liked them enough to get good at them like the other stuff I play. I would hate to be in that situation, to be honest. And play something you're not good at, and it's like the only gameplay footage you can find. Because they don't do, like, a public demo or any kind of, you know, event where people can play it, and there might be people that know how to play that type of game. Like, you know, beat-em-ups and fighting games have a lot in common. Communities have quite a bit of overlap. Because beat-em-ups have a lot of fighting game mechanics and vice versa. You know, they do beat-em-up. They showcase some beat-em-ups at, like, fighting game events and stuff. Usually you can find some pretty good gameplay there, because like I said, there's crossover. There's overlap between the communities. Like, I would recommend this game to people who like fighting games, because it's up to jump and everything. The way that the combat works is very similar with the jump cancels and stuff. I'd recommend this to anybody who likes fighting games but needs a break from mauling it ranked. You know, they just want to play something more chill. Definitely think it's a mistake that they didn't interact with people. People said the same thing about Streets 4, and then fighting game players broke it to pieces, doing infinites and 100% combos. That's exactly what happened with Streets 4. And like I said, a lot of those guys were fighting game players. That's how they understood how the combo system worked and stuff. Most of them weren't predominantly beat-em-up players. The early Streets 4 community was mostly fighting game players. The vast majority of them.
Lend me your strength.
You know, it's kind of a shame these companies don't interact with the FTC a little bit more. It can't possibly cost that much to get them to play something like this. Well, this year is very important for character action games. This next batch sucks or doesn't sell. We're gonna go back to Eternal Roll Slop. It's gonna be nothing but Souls-likes. These games had better do well. Because I don't know about you, but I don't hate Souls-likes. I've got hundreds of hours in a couple of them. But there's been too many of them lately. So this next batch of games needs to do really well. I am honestly quite anxious. And the games need to, they need to hit the mark. They need to stick the landing, and they need to interact with the community. Don't just give keys to people who have, you know, 800,000 subscribers and wipe their asses with $20 bills. I understand it's, as a business, it's attractive to do stuff like that, but I think they really need to interact with the community. I'm not even saying myself. I know for a fact I won't be considered because I have low viewership. It's not about me. I'm saying other people. They need to interact with the community, not do what Rushing Beat is doing. They keep getting people who don't know how to play to show it. It's the only gameplay that you can find. The only gameplay you can find is from people that don't even know how to play. That's bad. No matter how you slice it, that's bad. And people are looking to see what the game is played at least somewhat competently, but I'm sorry, that person that was mashing buttons on Rushing Beat has not sold me on the game. My interest is just because it's a beat 'em up. I don't even know if it's worth playing yet. The only Souls-likes I like are the ones that are not made by FromSoft. Those are the only ones that I think aren't shit. But I can't say I hate Souls-likes. It's just there's too many of them right now. If this next batch of games fails, GG for character action games. It's gonna be like beat-em-ups after the 16-bit era. All but dead. Gonna be another 8,000 Souls-likes. Most of them roll slop, not doing anything remotely interesting with the formula. Very derivative of FromSoft games. Which is a problem whether you like FromSoft games or not. That's the thing that people don't realize. It's a problem whether you like those games or not, because those are very big budget games. The indie ones and stuff that come out, they aren't bad from what I hear, but it's always the same problem of like not having much content. And when they want like $40 for a game like that, and you can get Elden Ring with dozens of hours of content for like the same price on sale, that's a hard sell. So I definitely would like more character action games because they're less overdone. And it's been proven you can make relatively decent ones with a lower budget. Well, we got a lot of character action games this year. It's a matter of if they're any good and if they sell well. And for them to sell well, they have to be good. And they need to interact with the community. Shit, I could name a good dozen people besides myself who deserve keys. Like, I could legit give those PR firms a list. I'm like, hey, you don't have to give me a key. You know, if you want to, that's great, but here are, like, other people that are also deserving. Legit do their work for them. But I know that that's not going to happen. It's going to be exactly like before. It's going to be top 1% streamers that don't like them. Because they just see the numbers. Same thing every time. Like, at some point you gotta realize maybe the best fit is not the largest streamer. Especially when they cost way more than the size of most character action game channels, which are about my size. Maybe bigger. None of us are millionaires. We don't have high standards for taking sponsorships and stuff. You're happy to get anything. Get anything that's not some generic slop sponsorship like Raid Shadow Legends. I mean, what little they've shown when they have somebody that actually knows how to play looks good, but I feel like for how long it's been announced, they should have better footage by now. I don't even know if Rushing Beat is coming this year. Seems like it's far along, but they don't do like a demo or anything. My theory is that game might be a Switch 2 or a Switch Shadow Drop, but like it'll still come out on PC, kind of like Warriors Abyss. You know, that was announced at the State of Play, but we got the PC port the same day. It might be something like that, where it looks very close to done. Nothing about the game looks really early, but they might have something that's preventing them from announcing it. Oh, I've got an Experience Plus, nice. rather they ship something worth playing than rush it. Too many games are busted at launch, or they feel early access with the amount of changes they make. I've bought my fair share of games like that, you know, they're not officially early access, but they should be, because they're lacking the polish you expect from a 1.0 game, whether it's indie or, you know, a large release. I'd argue Kazan was kind of like that in a way, to be honest with you. Not anywhere near as bad, but Kazan was definitely a little bit of a victim of that. Some of those bugs, there were so many more bugs when you got to the end of the game. The game really felt like it needed another month. Felt like they pushed it out too quick. It was like at the beginning of the game, it was very well polished. But then there were all the bugs, like dungeons stopped working, and then the achievements not working and stuff. Kazan was like a honorary early access game. A really good early access game, but it definitely still felt early access. They're still fixing bugs from launch. It's been over a month. Yeah, smaller devs are starting to do that now, which is what big studios do. It's getting kind of tiresome. Used to be, you didn't have to worry about that with small games like this, but then you're waiting so long to hear anything. Yeah, Kazan was very, weird. It's like they really rushed the end of the game. Like, the quality didn't really dip. Like, the level design and stuff. I mean, it was pretty consistent, but the stability of the game got so much worse. Those were some pretty bad bugs to have at the end of the game when, like, people are already invested and can't refund it. Kazan did kind of feel like a 0.8 release. It didn't feel like a 1.0. It definitely wasn't. they might see it as competition. They might be wanting to drop it after. I mean, that's the kind of game that has a high chance of being shadow dropped because it's like it's a niche game, right? They haven't done anything with rushing beat in decades. Literally, the only thing they've done, they put Brawl Brothers on Nintendo Switch Online. Like, obviously that didn't generate enough interest to make a whole new game. It's just something they want to do, and it obviously doesn't cost that much. But, they might not want to release too close. That's kind of what's happening right now with that, Expedition 33 game. The one with the really cool, hybrid turn-based combat, where there's, like, headshots and parries and stuff, so it's not just trading hits and healing. That's coming out, like, in a few days, and it's gotten completely overshadowed by the Oblivion remaster. They might be trying to avoid a situation like that, because they know that those games are all going to be gunning for the same audience. This year is really stacked for beat-em-ups, especially the end of the year. Like, we know that the new Double Dragon is at the end of the year, and then also Cosmic Invasion is as well, so that might be part of it. They might be legit sitting on it, or they have some kind of agreement with Nintendo to use it to inflate their smaller game library. I think both are very possible. If you like beat-em-ups, I mean, you're gonna have minimum like 2-3 games to buy by the end of the year. And they might all be coming out very close to each other. Apparently, Cosmic Invasion is like the winter, and Double Dragon Revive is like around Halloween. So they could be like only a few weeks apart. Now, granted, I think Double Dragon Gaiden Revive is like $35, but I would assume that Cosmic Invasion is probably going to be $40 tops. That's $60 on the same, or $60, $70 on the same type of game. They might be very cautious on when to drop it. That's just my theory. I really do think it's being withheld until the right time. I mean, if they had it ready now would be a good time. Now would be a good time to drop that game. They got a couple months. Needs more speed. Yeah, is that supposed to be this month? Well, it's got to be coming pretty soon. I don't have any inside information. I don't know any more than you do. That is supposed to be this month, I think. Let me verify that. Hold on. Let me verify that. Yep, it says this April. You were right. You're absolutely right. There hasn't been any kind of mention of it since then. This was over a month ago. It was a month and 2 days ago that it was mentioned. So it's possible that something changed, or maybe the porting teams are busy or something. But yeah, if they're gonna meet that date, they've got like literally a week left. They don't have a whole lot of time left. I mean, that's what happened with the Streets of Rage 4 patch. The final patch was the porting teams are busy with Shredder's Revenge. They're obviously putting more priority towards a new game instead of an old game. So, that patch was stuck in limbo for a really long time. I don't know if Maximum Entertainment is like what happened with Streets, where they wanted it out on everything at once, and that caused problems because the porting teams only have so much resources. They can't port everything right away. But it's possible that maybe it's something silly like that. Well, hopefully Rushing Beat is not another Silk song. They announce it like 6 years before release, and doing the exact same thing they should be happy to avoid as an indie developer. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who work on AAA games don't like the marketing either, because it puts so much pressure on them, especially if it's like public that they're working on it. Like, when's the game coming out? It's like all they can say is I don't know, and if I did know, I couldn't tell you. But like now the indie devs are doing the exact same thing. I get that like they wanted to keep the dev team for that game small, but I don't really think stringing people along for 6 years is acceptable for a smaller game like that. They should have, like I said, it's really missed opportunity to not have that ready for Switch 2 launch.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
That's a missed opportunity if I ever saw one. That would have been like the cheapest big game that you could get on the Switch 2, ironically. They had that available at launch. They would have had such a huge advantage, like massive advantage. Like Mario Kart is like $80, and then like all the other games are $70. And Silk Song is like actually a new game. I mean, most of the Switch 2 library at launch is games you can already play on Steam Deck. Almost all of them. Admittedly, the Street Fighter 6 that they have for Switch 2 is probably like the best deal, because it comes with 2 full seasons of content. I think that's worth, even if they charge $80 for that, it would be significantly cheaper than buying it separately. But the rest of the stuff is like, it's so much more expensive to play on Switch 2. You can get that same game and play it on the Steam Deck at like similar performance for like half the price. So I do think it's really strange that they didn't really push hard to have that be available on launch day. The game's already going to make a lot of money, but it would have made even more just because there's less competition. Competition is all like double the price range you can charge for a game like Silk Song. Like $70 to $80 versus $30 to $40. It's very possible that might be something that happens, yeah.
Let's go, bub. Ready. Fight!
Here you go!
does it?
Let's go, Bob.
Ready.
Come on, mon ami.
Fight!
Let it go. Cajun strike. Cajun strike.
Air combo! Air combo!
Let's go. Let's go.
KO! Wolverine win!
Let's go, Bob.
Ready. Fight! Marvelous! Air combo! Air combo!
Everybody who wants diversity, you got an African woman who's top tier. There you go. is here all along. One of the most overpowered fighting game characters that got no balance patch for like 20 years. There you go, there's your diversity.
Air combo! Wolverine win!
Storm is so broken in this game. You can like hold up and push fierce if you do it right, and they're stuck in an infinite. Incredibly busted character.
Let's go, Bob.
Ready. Fight!
Also top 4 in Marvel 2. Most overpowered character. That's why they fought for her to. Apparently, it was hard to get the X-Men into Marvel 3. But they fought for her specifically because she's such a big part of the series' identity. Because there was no Marvel game for 10 years. So had to play Broken Marvel 2 with Storm running away and chipping you to death. Let me do the infinite, fool. War Machine is just a worse Iron Man. It's just a worse Iron Man. From what I remember, anyway.
Let's go.
It wasn't exactly great at Marvel 2. I knew how it worked. I just didn't like playing the top tiers, so I kind of... Mediocre by choice. Marvel 2 has a lot of really fun characters, but the balance is so bad that... hard to justify playing them in the arcade where it cost money. Instead of like this, where you just can mess around and it doesn't cost anything more.
Good.
Let's go.
You win.
Let's go, bub.
Ready. Fight.
Magnetic tempest.
Magneto's theme in this is so good. I'm glad they remixed it in Marvel 3. Really good remix too. Some of them weren't. I thought the Iron Man remix in Marvel 3 is terrible, but that's not a it's not a hot take. Pretty much everybody agrees with that. The rare miss in that game soundtrack was definitely whatever the hell they did to Iron Man's theme. Gutted.
You win!
I am the apocalypse.
Let's go, bub.
I remember this being so cool as a kid.
Ready! Fight!
The game is over. Life is mine.
Let's go.
KO! You win!
Let's go, bub.
Ready! Fight!
Drill claw. Drill claw. Tornado claw. Drill claw. Drill claw. Drill claw.
You win!
Fighting games are very volatile for 1cc's because there's so much input reading. But then, if you know how to bully the CPU, it's like very easy. I think 1cc's on fighting games are some of the best to start out with because they're short. And at least for old games like this, less so with more modern ones that are more balanced. It's pretty easy to get into. The vast majority of my arcade 1cc's are fighting games. But yeah, you have to know how to break the game. How is he going to get back to Earth? Have you guys ever noticed this? He's walking away from the Blackbird. How is he going to get back to Earth? Is he just going to walk through orbit? I know you want to look for the next flight. What else is there on the moon, man? There's nothing left. Where are you going? How are you going to get home? Cyclops, you need to beat some sense into him. I know he's your friend. He's going to walk a circle around the moon. He can't get back. Nice job. I don't think he really thought that through. There's Yuki Iwai on music. So it's like one of the only times that the voice actors were credited. When they got to Marvel 2, they didn't credit any of the voice actors. Even the new ones didn't get credited. I guess it's because they didn't really make any new lines. But yeah, he just kind of... I guess he just does his laps around the moon. that was a trip down
Game
memory lane.
over.
Next time I'm gonna play this with stick, though. In 1cc, all these games, pretty much. I've done them all in the past. There's a good 6 1ccs right there. Alright, anyone want to translate what he says here? I'll do my best impression. I think he just says gibberish. He says, "Hiya!" Here we go. Hear that again. Hiya! Where's the fire? How does he eat, though? Ryu doesn't exactly, he doesn't exactly pack for emergencies. He's basically got a spare change of clothes. And, like, probably, I don't know, some potato chips in that bag or something. Some water. I don't really think he's equipped to live on the moon. It's already a question of how he's breathing on there, as it is, but legit walking away from the people that can take you home is, unwise. I'm glad that they put that on there. I guess they just did it because they had the license. it's like the one CPS1, CPS2 era beat 'em up that they can bring back because the licensing isn't a nightmare. Dungeons and Dragons already has a port on Steam, so you can play those games. And like Cadillacs and Dinosaurs is never coming back. Alien vs Predator never coming back. They got a lot of crazy licenses back then, but they've all changed hands so many times. They just don't think it's worth it. They totally just threw the Punisher in there because they had the rights to the characters. But yeah, it's nice to have a legal port of that game because it's been. I don't remember if there were any actual good ports. There might have been one on Saturn. I think Saturn did get one, but Japan only. So I don't know how much. I don't know how much that means to most people. Actually, no, it didn't. It got a Genesis version. Dungeons and Dragons did, yes. The Punisher did not. That collection has a lot of first-time ports. First-time arcade perfect ports. There's a lot of them in there. Alright, I guess I'll stream until it's time for PGR, but I do have some important emails to answer in the morning, so I don't want to do a full degenerate stream. I have some important emails to send that I'm waiting for that I could get at any minute, but ideally it'll be in the morning. So I don't want to be on too late tonight. Let's see what else we got here. Well, the Saturn versions barely count because they were Japan only, and you needed the 4 megabyte cart. And the Saturn had like no market share in America. Had like none. Especially because they bought stuff like not having a Sonic game. Sonic Extreme got cancelled. It would have helped. They would have suffered the same fate, but if they had had a Sonic game, I think things would have gone quite a bit better. But they just didn't get one. They had Sonic Jam, which doesn't count. But there was supposed to be a 32-bit Sonic game, but it got canceled. So there were a lot of really nice ports. There were some pretty good arcade perfect or close to arcade perfect ports, but especially as a kid, I mean, it was way harder to get that. If you're in your 20s or like college age at that time with a stable income, you could import it. Here in California, where I was living, there were a lot of import stores, but I don't know. The way I look at it, even if you convinced your parents to get you that, you were kind of screwing yourself over because the Saturn had no future here. Unfortunately, that's how it was for most rich kids that millennials knew. I definitely knew some rich kids. Those kids were getting screwed over having stuff like the TurboGrafx and the Lynx. They were way better than the Nintendo stuff, but the library just wasn't there. Neither was the support. So like you got to be the cool kid, but you ended up getting screwed over at the end of the day because there were no games for those things. The Lynx had no Japanese games. Now nowadays that wouldn't be so bad because we have great games from every country you can think of. But back then, having no Japanese games was like a death sentence. Japan was completely carrying video games at that point. Even stuff like that's really popular now, like Grand Theft Auto and all the sports games and stuff, where they were in their infancy back then. They weren't anywhere near as big as they were now, so if you didn't have Japanese support, your console was pretty much dead. There was no way to sustain it. I think I knew somebody who had a Lynx, and I was very jealous, but when I got older, I realized that thing only has like 40 games, and most of them aren't great. It's very ahead of its time, but battery tech was also too primitive. I think that thing only lasted like 2 hours. It's like the Steam Deck now, but instead of charging it, you had to buy another pack of batteries. Which is why Nintendo, despite how primitive the Game Boy felt by the time that Pokemon came out, it was a very smart decision to not have it be in color. Because it allowed the battery life to actually withstand like being stuck in an appointment. Being stuck in an appointment or in the back seat while your parents are driving. The Game Boy could withstand that whole drive. The Game Gear and the Lynx could not. Those things could barely get you through recess and waiting for your parents to pick you up. The battery was already dead. The Game Boy was very intelligently designed around technical limitations. Batteries were expensive. Like, it wasn't easy to get rechargeable batteries back then. So, having to buy batteries all the time, way more than the Game Boy, was, at least in my family, was a hard sell because my aunt had one. And she would let me take it to school, but then, and keep in mind, when I grew up, elementary school, I lived down the street, and like the battery was already dead by the time I got home. Like recess and lunch, the battery was already on its last legs. Keep in mind, my commute to work, not to work, but to school, when I was in elementary school in New Jersey, was like 3 minutes. The handhelds back then, the only really good one was the Game Boy. The Game Gear had some good games. It had a lot of really shitty games too, but the battery tech was too primitive to have it really be viable. At least for a kid. I'm sure there were adults back then, like my aunt, that could offset the cost of the batteries, but I don't think parents were very happy with, like, your kid isn't on the Game Gear like all day, like the Nintendo that's plugged into a socket, but like only like 2 hours. A normal healthy amount of time to play a game, regardless of your age, and the battery's already dead. You had to go buy more. But Now we're just having the same problem again because all these portable PCs are so powerful that they can run AAA games at like playable frame rates of not a full 60 FPS or higher, but the battery life is garbage. The battery life is about, it's actually is about as bad as the Game Gear. If you're playing AAA games on those things like the Steam Deck, you're only playing stuff like, you know, Kingdom Hearts, Cyberpunk, those kinds of games. The battery life actually is just as bad. It actually is just as bad. The only difference is that you can charge it, but that's not entirely a solution. It depends on how your lifestyle works. Let me go grab... Oh, wait a minute. Where is it? Hold on. Yeah, the Game Gear was kind of a ripoff. That's the thing about the Game Boy is they knew their limitations. They knew their limitations with it. Like we can't. You know, we want to have color, but battery tech is too primitive for it to be viable, either for a child or for an adult. So they kept it black and white, which honestly really worked in their favor because the Game Boy was so cheap that that's a big part of Pokemon's success actually, is that it was on such cheap, affordable hardware that was already like 7-8 years old by the time that we got Pokemon. So it was easier for parents to justify it versus a full-fledged console. And the battery could last a very long time. It wasn't expensive. The Game Gear was like triple the amount of batteries for like 2-hour battery life. Kind of like the Steam Deck right now. Let me make sure you guys have visuals. You don't have visuals. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, there were a lot of really bad turn-based RPGs back then because of the encounter rate. It was like every 5 steps, so the game was barely playable. The way they handled that in Pokemon was actually very smart, because it was like the Pokemon would appear more frequently in the grass, but then you also had items to make the encounters go away. But a lot of turn-based RPGs back then did not have that quality of life, so there were a lot of them on the PlayStation as well. I know that game, Beyond the Beyond, that's like one of the worst RPGs I've heard of, turn-based RPGs, because a random encounter is like every 2 seconds of walking. It's like barely playable. It's like if you guys got an ad every 5 seconds watching my stream, would be unwatchable. That's pretty much what a lot of that was a make or break for a lot of turn-based RPGs back then. But that's one of the reasons why Pokemon succeeded. It actually had random encounter rates that made sense. Also, the fact that it was a cartridge game helped, so there was no load times. That was the worst thing about PS1 turn-based RPGs. The load times. Load times coupled with high encounter rate. Those games are like unplayable.
Select your character.
Oops.
Select your character. Round 1.
That's part of the reason why Chrono Trigger was revolutionary. The game was revolutionary for a number of reasons, which was the New Game Plus. Also, having the encounters be on the field instead of random was huge. It added strategy to avoiding the fights, and then also not getting stuck in, transitions for so long. Which is why the PS1 version really sucks, because it has load times, which defeats the purpose of fighting them on the field instead of transitioning. I remember when that came out, I'm like, this is worse than what I played on the SNES. I mean, it's nice that it has the anime cutscenes, but the gameplay experience is so much worse. They didn't intend for you to stand there looking at a wind pose for multiple seconds. The game was designed for you to get right back to what you're doing with no interruptions.
Select your character. Round 1.
glad random encounters are mostly a thing of the past now. They were... For somebody that doesn't like turn-based RPGs, I have played several when I was younger. I really didn't like the 32-bit ones because the encounter rates and the load times just a nasty combination that could completely ruin a game's pacing. The Chrono Trigger, for instance, is completely ruined by being on PlayStation and not having cartridge load times which are instant. Actively worse experience. Totally not what the developers intended. But yeah, that was kind of the best and worst turn-based RPG generation. It's because there were a lot of advancements. You know, the Final Fantasy games had really good graphics for the time and high production values with the CG cutscenes and everything, but the load times, the encounter rates made a lot of those games actually way worse to play than 8-bit and 16-bit ones, where even if the encounter rates were bad, at least you weren't waiting for it to load. Pokemon might be overrated, but they did a lot of very smart things with the design to avoid those trappings. The fact that they gave you items that were easy to get and affordable, even at the beginning, that would allow you to just turn off encounters entirely, was huge. So it meant that you could progress at your own pace. And granted, load times are instant, but load times being instant is not the be-all solution to that problem. If there's too many, the game is still unplayable, but for like 32-bit games, it was really bad to have a design like that because of the hardware limitations, where it has to load a different area and like a bunch of sprites or 3D models, which on that hardware was not easy. Pokemon was very intelligently designed, fixed a lot of those problems that all those other games had, which is pretty hilarious when you think about it, because PS1 was a 3D console, but it had a lot of worse designed turn-based RPGs than Pokemon, like such weak hardware. There's a lot of reasons why it was successful. A lot of people don't think about stuff like that. In Radiant Mythology, the first two games had corridor dungeons, so the fact that you could see them didn't really matter because the area to move in was so small. It's kind of cool that you could see them. They did incorporate that from Tales games at the time, where they stopped doing random encounters, but the area was so small, the draw distance was so low, it didn't really matter. Again, that was a hardware limitation. Mega Man Command Mission was a game also kind of ruined by the encounter rate. The encounter rate in that game was way too high. You really should have had enemies on the field. But like, it took a decent amount of time to load as well, so despite being a PS2 era game instead of PS1, it had a lot of those same problems. I remember playing that game, and I really only got through it because it was Mega Man X, just like one of my favorite franchises. That game is rough. It did have some cool gimmicks to stop it from just being generic turn-based, but the encounter rate was way too high. Especially because it wasn't like snappy transitions like the Tails games. Couldn't get in and out of fights quickly, so having there be so many encounters was really rough. It's an above-average turn-based RPG, though, as long as you're not looking for a good story. If you're looking for a good story, I don't recommend that game. But gameplay-wise, it's not bad. You can do a lot worse in that game. Definitely not if you're looking for, you know, super good story that you're thinking about 27 years later, like FF7 or something. You're not going to find that with that game. I'll tell you that right now. Gameplay-wise, it's pretty solid. The battle system is fun. Worst thing about the command mission story was that they introduced like new characters, but they disappear after the ending. They were never seen again outside of X-Dive. They gave them like little bits of story and background, but then they were never seen again. They felt like an afterthought. They stop appearing in cutscenes after a while. Marino especially was really cool. Massimo had a cool story as well, but then they never did anything with those characters again. Never even mentioned. They don't even appear in the ending. The story of that game is actually really bad. But I mean, hey, Pokemon doesn't have great stories, and it's like the most popular game franchise in the world, so I don't think that's a reason to avoid it. It's mostly the encounter rates is the reason to avoid that game. Encounter rates are way too high. Ah, damn Hollywood. Valkyrie profile, yes. Exist archive, no. Resonance of Fate, no. Clean fight. Good recovery. I played both Valkyrie profiles, 1 and 2. They're both busted, but I think 1 is more fun to play because it's... The way that 1 is busted is more fun than 2. 2, it's too easy to exploit blind sides of the enemies where they can't hit you and just stand there and attack them. Which is not as interesting. The platforming in that game was really cool, though. The puzzles were really cool. Usually puzzles in games like that can be either make or break the whole experience, but the puzzles in 2 were very good. Basically just taking one mechanic and doing a lot of stuff with it. Wasn't a whole lot of pushing blocks or finding keys and stuff. Really good puzzles in that game. It's definitely a risk to put that much action stuff in an RPG, but I think it was better because of that. Too many RPGs have really shitty puzzles that test your patience and aren't fun. But yeah, I played both of those games. Exist Archive I didn't play because I hated the art style. It looked like an N64 game. The worst graphics. Yeah, I played a fair share of Tri-A stuff. Played half the Star Oceans. 2, 4, and 6. 2, 3, and 6. Played both of those to completion. All 3. But you could tell Tri-Ace was really on their last legs when they made Exist Archives. Barely hanging on at that point. Might have to track that game down. That might be fun to play on kitty sitting streams. Give it a shot. Yeah, I never even played it though. I heard it was actually kind of fun if you can look past the shitty art style, but I don't know. Looking at those character models for 40 hours, I just couldn't justify it. It also didn't get a PC port. Valkyrie Profile 1 is a terribly balanced game. But it's kind of a good thing because it has a pretty nice story. And you can easily break that game. It's like one of the easiest turn-based RPGs to break. Guts an auto item. You're invincible. Project X Zone, just the pacing is so bad. Namco X Capcom as well. That's a game that's ruined by the pacing. Let's go! No miss! My first no miss! First no miss! There we go! No miss, fight forever. He suts. Indeed. No miss. I'm gonna have to highlight that later. No miss. Hardcore gaming right there. Get out of here with your roll slop. Dark Souls character couldn't handle all that shit. He'd be tired after one punch. Be exhausted. Your undead knight could not handle all those guys. Guy the ninja can. He cleaned that place up, man. Their bodies even disappeared. The crime scene is perfectly clean. Sorry, roll sloppers. Your Dark Souls character couldn't handle that big gang of enemies. He cleaned that place up. Problem solved. Thank you for the GGs. I played my fair share of turn-based RPGs. I just got tired of them. Most of the ones I liked were more involved. Like Valkyrie Profile, I really liked. Both of them. Yeah, I just got tired of them. That Claire Obscura game that's coming out in a few days, that game looks pretty solid. It's like, you know, letting you parry and stuff, so it's not just attack and heal. That game looks really cool, but I wouldn't pay for Game Pass for that. Definitely not. That game looks like what turn-based RPGs need, though. Some innovation and escape from the gacha trappings. There are a lot of people are really unhappy with Honkai Star Rail right now, so I think the balls in that Expedition 33, the balls in their court. You can't say turn-based is outdated because Honkai Star Rail makes like tens of millions of dollars every month, but I don't think turn-based gachas are any good because there's no semblance of strategy with all the power creep and how much money you can spend being the main deciding factor over strategy and preparing for the battle and stuff. Like, all that stuff matters so much less in a gacha. So I think that Claire Obscure game looks really cool. Stop a lot of that crap. I think turn-based gachas are the worst gacha games pretty much because it's just numbers. This game I'm playing right now, you can totally spend insane amounts of money. The difference is you still have to execute. In a turn-based game, you don't have to. Said that. Turn-based RPGs have needed some innovation for a long time. I don't know if I'd bother playing it myself. I think I'm still like really tired of turn-based RPGs, but if there was one I was going to play, it would be that for sure. Some much-needed innovation, and it's like an actual premium-priced game with no gacha stuff. Which, like I said, is sorely needed right now. Yeah, that game was pretty innovative too, with like the action combat, and then they also had the really good like Persona turn-based combat where you could get the press turns and stuff. Yeah, that combat system looked really cool too. Not enough for me to play it, but it'd take a lot to get me to play a turn-based RPG. But it's nice to see some innovation. I think turn-based developers have gotten too complacent. Because now you want to make a gacha, but gacha games and turn-based just don't mix, in my opinion. It essentially means that they can power creep, but unlike this game where you still have to execute, the amount of power creep makes the game easier, but to score and stuff, it still takes skill. But in a turn-based game, all that goes out the window. Which apparently is what people don't like about... That's what they don't like about Star Rail right now, apparently, is the fact that they're doing so much power creep. Power creep in turn-based games just means that you play even less of it. Kinda sucks, to be honest. But it's nice to see some premium turn-based games come out and try to do something different with the formula. No, this isn't ready yet. Even Pokemon has gotten really stale. Pokemon was like the most innovative turn-based RPG. Chrono Trigger was around the same time, but it's been very bland lately, especially because now most of them are gachas. Premium turn-based RPGs are pretty rare these days, actually. It's been like how they've been really struggling to make Dragon Quest 12, and it's like what's hard about making that? Every Dragon Quest game is basically the same thing. It's just entirely a bad thing, especially now that turn-based games are a lot more rare, and the amount of ones that are premium priced that don't have gacha bullshit are very small. They're having a hard time making that game. Like, I don't understand what's hard about it. You don't play Dragon Quest games for innovation. You play them because you want a decent, above average turn-based RPG with decent production values. You buy those games, you're not looking for innovation. You're not looking for the next big thing. You just want a turn-based RPG to play, and that's it. I don't know. Maybe they actually are trying to reinvent it. Maybe they're looking at like the Expedition game and Metaphor, changing a tired formula, and also sticking out a lot more because gachas have kind of taken over turn-based RPGs. Alright, well, I think I should probably get to bed because I have some important emails to answer. And I don't know when I'm going to get them, and I want to be available frame 1. So I think that's going to do it for tonight. I kind of don't have anything else planned anyway. I'm at a weird crossroads right now because there's like a Metro Gas ton of stuff happening next week, but right now there's nothing. Next week is Astral Ascent 2.0 and the DLC comes out. And then the day before that is Towerborn. Also, Keyboard is like the same period. I did apply for a key for that. I don't know if I'm going to get one. But, like right now, it's like, do I really want to start a new game? Because I'm going to be insanely busy next week. And I mean, like, none of it's going to do well. It's not going to help my revenue. But they're games I want to play, and I will have fun playing them. And I hope that you guys will enjoy watching them, which is what matters more. Ideally, the channel would make more money, so I didn't have to be struggling like this all the time. But full disclosure, channel made like $40 this month, and I don't know how I'm going to afford those games next week. So support me if you want. I don't know what the kitty sitting situation is going to be today. Usually at the end of the month, I usually get more days off because I don't really want to go into that family situation, but there's reasons why I have like more days off at the end of the month. So there should be. I'll go ahead and I'll post in my stream schedule. That will tell you what's going on. I mean, let me see here. Maybe I can figure out the next stream. Maybe I'll just do that right now. Oh, that's right. Actually, yeah, there's another reason why I don't want to start a new game, because... Where is it? Major update for this is tomorrow. It's tomorrow night. So the 24th. Usually around 6 to 8 my time. There's going to be a major update for this, which is going to have a bunch of new characters, a bunch from Spirits of Sanada, and then also it's going to have some kind of new mode where I guess it'll be like BlazBlue Entropy Effects, where you can I guess, keep your run results and you can do another run, there's going to be some kind of permanent progression, which I think will really help, because do you see how many roguelikes I've played in here? I've done the harder difficulties on the vast majority of these, the ones that I like, but the hard mode in Warriors Abyss just sucks. It's not fun. It's everything that's not fun about hard modes, where they give everything way more health, and then they take away options that make the game fun. So I'm hoping they've shown very little of it. We'll find out on ourselves tomorrow, but I'm hoping that it will have interesting meta progression and make the harder difficulties more fun, and there'll be an actual reason to play on them. Because like when I play this game to have fun, I don't go any farther than Traversal 2, because past that they just take away options and everything has too much health. So I'm hoping that that will help. I definitely think that out of all the like roguelikes I played in here, the vast majority of these that I actually liked and played to completion, the hard modes are like so much better in those games. In this game, it's just stat bloat and taking away options. So I'm hoping that maybe this will help and give the game more replay value. The new characters specifically are going to enhance a lot of builds, so a lot of the lower tier characters are going to get a lot better, which is going to be interesting too. Yeah, I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, and then it'll be a couple days of just random crap like tonight, and then there's going to be yeah, the end of the month is completely stacked. There's Towerborn, Astral Ascent, and then Keyborg are like within a day of each other. So there's going to be a ton of streams. Kitty sitting streams. Astral Ascent is a good kitty sitting stream game because it doesn't lag. It's a very low fidelity game. I mean, the pixel art is beautiful, but what I mean by that is it doesn't take much power to run. So if you don't like watching this game, if you watched me play it before, you might want to avoid kitty sitting streams for a while. But yeah, this is going to be a huge update. They're adding a lot of really cool stuff. So I'm very excited for this. Well, yeah, that's going to do it for now. Full disclosure, I'm really broke right now, so if you guys want to help, greatly appreciated. If not, I understand. Everything is costing more and we're getting paid less. I don't hold it against anybody for being unable to help, but yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to afford the next few weeks of the channel, because like I can go over this right now, I guess. Lost Soul Aside is in about a month and a week. There's been very little about this, but I will be playing it. I think that's all for next month, actually. I don't think there's any other games I'm doing in May that aren't existing stuff. There's going to be a Dragon is Dead update, so that's going to be really big for kitty sitting streams. Lost Soul Aside, PGR update. Lots of kitty sitting stream content. Anyway, I'll see you later. Support me if you want. I'll see you guys. Well, check my Discord. Let me give an invite link. Check my Discord. I have a stream schedule, and we can we'll figure it out in there. There you go. Join if you haven't already. There's a stream schedule channel at the top where I post links, and I also post my streaming plans for the day. So I'll keep you guys updated in there, and I'm also going to put some more work into the Discord and maybe make some roles so that people can be pinged when there's a new stream. I think that'll actually help quite a bit. So I'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody.